The first thing before we go and create our products.php file, let's go open our index.php and create a quick array. So PHP and closing PHP right before the doc type at the top of the file. We're going to create array called products equals array and put simply put 1, 2, and 3 inside of it. Now let's loop through these products. So we have, this will simply represent the IDs of the product. So after the result div, if we create the for each loop, products as key equals value, and then after the closing item div, let's close the for each loop, the curly brace. Okay, so now we have all this. So we use values and replace these values, these numbers after the product underscore with the value. So echo value. I'm going again to close this browser for the time being, file browser, and this is it. So we copy this and replace this number 1 here with all these number 1s. We can move this on a new line and rel here as well. So now if we open our browser, refresh the page, you can see we've got 3 buttons here. Now quantity, sorry, I've done a mistake obviously here. That shouldn't be replaced. The value, where's that? Yeah, the value is always going to start with 1. So if we go back and refresh, obviously value starts 1. We can increase quantity of this one, decrease. It's all fine, but we still cannot add anything. That's good. Okay, let's open our browser again, file browser. Let's create a new folder called MOD. And inside of this folder, let's create a file called products.php. Inside of the products file, let's start with the opening PHP tag. We start with ID equals get ID, and then ID equals empty ID. It will be number 1, otherwise it equals ID. Okay, now quantity, the same thing. Actually, let's copy this whole thing. QTY. It will be for QTY, which is populated from the URL, obviously, which we send in here using get JSON, and the same thing. Okay, so there we start. We have products array equals array, and we'll simply add some dummy products here. Number 1 will stand for chest expander. Number 2 will stand for pair of socks. Number 3, what can we put here? Black leather jacket. And I think that's it, because we've got only 3 products. These IDs obviously refer to what we have here in our array at the top. Obviously, in the real life situations, you would populate these IDs from the same array rather than creating 2 separate ones. But anyway, this is just to demonstrate how it may look like. So we have our message variable. And our message variable will be div with a class product, and then product basket underscore and the ID of our product. Then concatenating with the dot, because we're in PHP now, closing div. Oops. Okay, and we're going to extend it. Message. So dot equals. We have product. And we pass the ID, so we get the name, actually, the value of the name. Then we go further, message. We will start now. It's going to be space / quantity : space single quote and QTY variable concatenation again, closing div and semicolon at the end. So our message is ready. Now, last thing we need to do is echo our JSON encode using our PHP JSON encode methods array, and an array will contain message, which will equal message. So this will simply create the array, the JSON array with the index message and the value assigned of the message as well, which we want to pass to it, assigned to this specific variable. Okay, so our products.php file is now ready, and I think we are ready to test it. So let's open our browser, refresh the page. Now if I increase the quantity of the first product, add to basket, you can see it's been added. Then we do the same with the next one, it's been added. Same with this one, it's been added. If I try to change the quantity to 0, it replaces this with 1, added, it replaces the whole thing again with the quantity of 1. Now if you want to see what's happening behind the scenes, you can use Fireback, a console tab, and if we obviously use one of these buttons, click add to basket, you can see we call in products.php with the ID 1, because this is product 1, quantity 4, and the response is given in back as a JSON array with index message and the value which needs to be displayed in this specific container. So that's everything in this series. I hope you enjoyed the whole thing, and if you have any questions, use our contact form or post a comment under this series.